to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. Today I am participating in a collaboration hosted by Crafting with Indiana Jones. It's a magical celebration in honor of Hocus Pocus 2 being released. And so today I recently introduced our Happy Hauntings Halloween collection, and I'm going to be creating a really fun trick-or-treat bag that you can later turn into a gift bag. So I was inspired by the cat in the movie. So we're going to be creating a kitty to go on this trick-or-treat bag. And I've cut some shimmers, and I'm going to talk y'all through what I've done. I'm using this mirrored oval page. The back side of it is this black wood tone, which is going to be the base of our page. And this is just the whole sheet's going to get put on to my bag. My bag's about 12 inches by 16 inches or so. But you can use whatever bag you have on hand. I just really loved that this bag was going to highlight our black and white contrast here and show things off for Halloween. So what I've done is I've used my 12-inch trimmer and I've cut out several pieces. Today I'm using our black cardstock. Basically, mostly what you need for this project is scraps because they're small pieces, except for when we get ready to do our tag, you're going to need a little bit of a bigger piece. This is our charcoal cardstock, our white cardstock. I had a little scrap of our pink botanical burst, and then I also pulled some of our parakeet shimmer cardstock as well for the eyes, because of course the cat in the movie had green eyes, and it was a black cat. So I thought, let's go ahead and stay true to that as much as possible. I also did use my second smallest oval with the green blade to cut my eyes out on the inside track. And then I used my red blade on the inside track to cut pieces for the mouth. So this was, let me show you here real quick. I'm going to flip this over. So I took and I cut an oval with my red blade, and then from this oval I took my oval again, I turned it, so when you cut your oval you did it this way, and then I turned it and I put it this way, and I just took my red blade at about 1/4 of an inch and I ran my blade back over the top to create our mouth for our kitty. So you'll see what it looks like in just a minute. I also have used my piece by piece mini punch trio set. I just used this punch from it, and I punched this one out of our black cardstock, so the larger circle, and then 2 of these really tiny circles out of the white cardstock, and then one more pink heart out of the heart part of the punch. And you can kind of flip it over and see where your paper goes in to the punch, so that way you can only just put in to try to get the piece that you want, which is part of the fun of using this punch. You get the pieces you want to use. If you want a moon or a half circle as well, you can, to create little eyebrows, which I just didn't want. I kind of wanted mine to be a little more anime inspired rather than cartoonish. So I also have finally my precision point adhesive, because you're going to need it for these tiny little dots. And of course my tape runners and my parchment board, which if you haven't seen it before, it's a sturdy piece of cardboard. And I used electrical tape to stick on the parchment paper, because electrical tape is one of the few things that will stick to parchment paper. And we're not cooking with it, so really it doesn't matter. I've cut 2 1 3/4 inch squares to make my ears out of. So what I did was I found the center of the top of my square, And then I just took my favorite microtip scissors and I cut from the corner to that pencil mark that I made at the top of the square. And I cut it kind of at an angle so that way it would give actually some motion to our ears, so that way you can actually tell they're ears. So I'm going to grab my repositionable tape runner. I'm going to go ahead and start putting together my cat for our bag. We're going to go ahead and get the ears towards the top here. And let's get those placed first. And then we're going to go ahead and get our little insides of our ear placed. And these don't have to be centered exactly. You can kind of go off because you figure the cat's going to be kind of moving around. So you don't need things dead center. And besides, it's usually a little bit more pleasing to the eye to see that it isn't. And I'm actually going to, you can actually still see my little pencil mark. If I hold it up close enough, maybe you can see it at the top there where it was the center of my square. And here we go. So there's our ears. Next we'll get going with our eyes. And I'm using the repositionable tape just in case we do need to move something around. I have my multi-purpose tool ready to go. And I don't know, I just, watching the first Hocus Pocus movie, I just loved how the cat kind of just showed up at different times in the movie. Just so fun. Can't wait to watch the second one. I think it's going to be fabulous. All right, I'm going to get my whiskers going here. And these are the black shimmer, so I really wanted these to kind of have a little more movement. Just also with the eyes too, you kind of want them to have a little bit more movement. I probably should hold on. Let me get my mouth in there too, because the whiskers, I don't want them to be off, but since I've already started to put on the adhesive, I'm just going to keep going with it. Whoops, that one flipped over on me. There we go. And let me grab my mouth. I'm going to go ahead and just turn this over because there's plenty of space for all this. And I just thought the mouth, most kitties' mouths aren't red. They're usually gray or black also, so I didn't want to highlight it too much. Let's see here. So if we have our mouth right about here, and then we're going to add our heart. But the heart is going to go upside down because that's really our nose and kind of the center of our mouth. So there we go. Now we can add our whiskers. Because usually the whiskers are coming a little bit closer to the mouth. And there we go. So we have our whiskers, we have our mouth. Let's finish up our eyes. And then we're going to finish decorating this bag a little bit. So we have to use the precision point adhesive with these because they are just too small to even manage otherwise. And so it's already hard to pick up even just with the little point of, oops. So there we go. Maybe this is going to make our kitty a little bit spookier. We want it to be kind of friendly, but you know, the kitty also is magical too, right? So let's see, maybe our kitty will be looking the same direction, looking over to the side a little bit. And then the little white dots, of course, are going to be our pupils. Let's get this in the middle here. So just a little dot of glue. Ooh. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on, kitty. We need you to be looking more. There you go. Over to the side. And the one nice thing about the glue is it will dry clear. It shows up blue when it comes out of the pen, but then it dries clear, which is fantastic because we want it to dry clear. We don't want to be able to see the little blue on our black cardstock when we're done. So that is our kitty cat. I pulled a couple of our Happy Hauntings embellishments. We have this double toil and trouble embellishment that I'm going to put the cauldron down here because of course the cauldron was a part of the movie. So I am going to pop up this cauldron on my large foam squares, and then we also have this tree. So you kind of want to know what the kitty's looking at, and the kitty's going to be looking at this cauldron and this tree over here because it's wondering what is brewing in that cauldron. We have this fantastic outline of a owl on our tree, so we're going to make sure when we put it on our bag that you can actually see that the owl is there. Just using my repositionable tape on my parchment board again, because the best thing about using the parchment board is that the tape stays in the tape runner and it doesn't goop up our paper or anything else. It just, the parchment stays clean. So here is our tree with our owl, and then our cauldron is going to go underneath it right here. Actually, I need to move the tree up just a little bit. Let me grab my multi-purpose tool and just move this up just a little bit and over, because we want to be able to place this nicely together where they're not completely overlapping. There we go. So that tree can go there. It's okay that it's in my kitty whisker because of course our kitty is kind of a illusion of a kitty anyways. Get the backings off of my foam squares. So here's that. There's our cauldron, and we also have a really cool spider web that I'm going to stick up here with this sticker that says it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. I just couldn't resist putting the flag onto my spider web. I just thought, you know, it is after all a hocus pocus celebration, so I had to use that one. And I thought about putting our little witch's hat on my cat, but this hat I think is just a little bit too small, and I think it would just look funny. So I kind of like the illusion of the cat more, checking out what's in the cauldron, and then let me get our spider web down and grabbing my board and my tape again here just a little bit. Here we go. Putting this up in the corner here. And then I'm going to grab a couple more foam squares and we're just going to pop up our flag, and then this bag is going to be done and ready for trick-or-treating. You will have the cutest, most awesome bag on the block for trick-or-treating if you make one of these, and I would love to be your advisor. You can check my description box below to find the link on where to buy all of our Happy Hauntings products. So here is our Hocus Pocus banner up in our spider web, and I'm going to hold this closer to the camera for you, and then I'm going to show you how to turn this into a gift bag in just a moment. So there we go. There's our close-up of our spider web, our cute kitty, just a little magical, and then of course our tree with our cauldron of what the cat's checking out. So I'll be back with you in just a minute to do our tag really quick, so that way you can turn your bag into a gift bag. For the tag demo to put onto our bag, if you want to use it as a gift bag later, pulled out our 3-in-1 bevel tag punch. And the reason I pulled this one out is because you can do different sizes, 1 inch, 2 inch, or 2.5 inch tags, and it cuts the top out perfectly for you. I chose to do a 2.5 inch width because our bag is so large, and then the length was 4 inches. So we're doing 4 inches by 2.5 inches is what I cut. I ran it through the tag maker, and we have a great tag ready to go on our bag. I also pulled out my border maker system. We have this really great Bats and Stars border maker cartridge, and I am actually going to even just probably hang on to the confetti that came out of this, because wouldn't this be great in a Halloween card that you want to send somebody? We have all these fantastic bats and stars that come off of there. And so what I did was I took so this was our black cardstock, and I took our black shimmer and I punched out the bats and stars from our bat shimmer. Black shimmer. That one was a little bit of a tongue twister. I want it to run at an angle through the tag, so I'm just going to put some of the repositionable tape across part of this because I want the part to stay on that I want to stay on. And of course I have my micro tip scissors that have their special coating, and they can cut through any tape all day and not get gooped up because of their special coating that they have on them. I've also pulled out my Happy Hauntings sticker sheets, and I'm pulling out the spider web from the very top of the sticker sheet here. And it looks like I may have to cut this down just a hair, but I'm going to go ahead and place this across the top of the tag just to give it another little spooky element. Let me flip this over, and since I've already got them out, we're just going to go ahead and trim off the little bit of white that's popping over the edge here from our sticker. And there you go. Wiped right off, no problem. So there is our spider coming down. We're going to run our bats across, and I kind of want to run it so you get these two on here going up and over. And then there you go, you kind of have a little bit more through the other end of the two. But again, we're going to cut through on the back side so that way we get a nice even cut. And there you go. And then we are going to add one more sticker so that way we have a fun sentiment across our tag. We have this Happy Haunting sticker on our sticker sheet here. And I'm going to grab my large foam squares again, and we're going to put this across the bottom because, you know, you might want to gift somebody this treat bag to use on Halloween, and then you've got your Happy Haunting going across the bottom. Just so fun. Here we go. So we've added those 3 elements to the front of our tag. I'm going to hold it up closely for you so you can see the bats are there, our spider's there. If we want to add another spider or 2, actually I think I'm going to add this little guy because I noticed it. We're going to have him coming out from behind the Happy Hauntings, heading towards the spider web. And then if you're wondering how I'm going to write on this, we have this really cool white chalking pen. So when you use our chalking pen, it's dual tipped just like all of our dual tip pens. So one end is a fine end and one end is a thicker end. And I am just going to put the 2 on here. So when you write at first, there's nothing. So you can see there, I've written 2, but wait for it. And there you go. It's almost done changing over to the white. So it goes on clear and then it turns white, which is super awesome, especially when you're writing on dark cardstock like this. You could cut out a little white piece of scrap paper or extra cardstock that like we had left over from our bag, and you could use this and then just write with any pen. But where's the fun in that? It's Halloween, come on. grab a white chalking pen. We also have one that's blue, but I just thought the white goes with our whole theme of Halloween. So grab some black yarn and just attach this to your bag. You can put it on the kitty side, or you can even put it on the back side, so that way it doesn't interfere with your kitty on the other side. But you have a great gift you can give somebody, or you have a super fun bag for your kids to take out trick-or-treating, or heck, if you want to go out trick-or-treating, you do you, and you go out trick-or-treating and have some fun. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to Indie Annie Jones for hosting on her channel, Crafting with Indie Annie Jones. I will have her channel linked in the description box below, along with the playlist, because if you want to see some more magical crafts and projects, check out the playlist. You won't be disappointed. There's some wonderful creators that have worked hard to put together some videos for you. Until next time.